What sort of reaction has there been in America to this stabbing, this sort of attack on free speech?
So there's been certainly a lot of shock and surprise in this country. The fatwa against Salman Rushdie had sort of fallen away from top of mind years and years ago. Rushdie was back to making public appearances. He would appear at conferences very much like the conference he was addressing or scheduled to address on Friday. He even appeared on an American situation comedy a few years ago, making light of the fatwa and talking with the star of the show about how fatwas maybe were a good way to meet women because it got you so much sympathy. So he's been, he certainly has not been in hiding. He had a very high profile marriage to a television presenter a few years ago. It's not like the first months and years after the death sentence was declared by the Ayatollah Khomeini. When he was in hiding, he was living under an assumed name. He was not making public appearances. That all had sort of evolved in the last number of years. So there's surprise that this is something that we all associate with the late 80s and early 90s and conflict with Iran is back with us in this horrific way.
Do you think there are legitimate questions to be asked over the security? Because we're hearing reports that there were 2 New York State troopers present.
That is true. There were 2 New York State troopers present. It's unclear whether they were present because of Rushdie's appearance or whether they were there generally to guard against some sort of violent outburst at this conference, just because there's just been a lot of political activity in recent weeks and recent months. There are reports from friends of his or people who've attended his other appearances that personal security did not seem to be much in evidence when he was making a public appearance, but it's impossible to know how much security there might have been behind the scenes. Certainly there wasn't enough at this event to keep the attacker from getting on stage and attacking Mr. Rushdie.